Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier.
Well, now we're back, and I've got a few things to address because I have scrapped multiple videos due to the audio issues. Hopefully, this fixes it. Hopefully, this is all I can hope for. Number one, I don't like anime. That's a real thinker there. Number two, I don't think I've said it in a video. I don't think, like I said, I've scrapped so many things. I've said so much on those videos. I don't want to just do star ratings, predictions, and news videos because, one, I'm not fast enough to do news videos. I have 3 channels. 2 of them take up most of my time, and the main one isn't even my main focus. Oh, shit, my... And number 3, I wanted to talk about some stuff going on with SummerSlam. So I thought I would get the main topic out of the way, which is Liv Morgan. It's probably in the title, she's probably in the thumbnail, probably all that. Then I'll do one more thing I'm kind of interested in SummerSlam. And then at the end, I'll just TLDR the predictions. If you don't want to talk about the topics, you can skip right to them. If I remember, here's the timestamp. If it's not there, have fun fast forwarding. So I pissed off TikTok recently. I put Liv Morgan on Fraud Watch. And I know, I don't think she's that good at revenge if SummerSlam ends with Rhea winning. And I don't think I'm wrong for that, because you got to think about it like this. If you want to get revenge on somebody and say, I want to take everything from you, and you don't get everything, I feel like, personally, you're a wee bit of a fraud. And this isn't me, like, trying to backtrack. This is what I said on my podcast, After the Ropes. Follow us on Twitter and also on YouTube. You should do that. You get more unfiltered opinions from people other than just me. Go sub it up there in the description, I think. Hopefully. I don't know. But my main point on that podcast was that if Liv Morgan got the title not from Rhea Ripley, and she injured her, and she's going after not only Dom but Judgment Day, and she fails to get all of that, fraud. Definitely fraud. Especially if she loses at SummerSlam, which personally, I don't think she's going to do. I think she's going to win at SummerSlam. It makes the most narrative sense and also cements a number 2, number 2, technically in the number 1 spot, but number 2 woman on the roster. Because guess what? After Rhea gets the belt back, they move Nia to SmackDown. There's nobody left. I guess we can get that Maxine Dupree feud going, but I don't see it happening. Ivy Niles, another one that, like, she's got the look. She hasn't been on TV in a few weeks, I don't think. And even if she was on TV, she gets a 2-minute match where she does stuff. I don't know. So, not a TLDR. Basically how I see it going this way. I think Liv Morgan wins at SummerSlam. Whether Dom gets involved and helps or, turns on Rhea, I don't know. It feels like it's very much trying to distract you. Like, oh, he said he hates her. So when she does do it, it's gonna, oh, Dom, he didn't hate her the whole time. But also, it could not be that. It could easily just be we're trying to distract you from that. And then Finn does something. But then also, Finn is more aimed towards Damian than Liv. So, like, I don't know. It just seems like something where there's so many possible outcomes that it's not a bad idea to use any of them. But there is one where the Judgment Day stay together. Dom doesn't turn on Rhea. Rhea wins the world title back, and Liv is a fraud. And that was the only point I was trying to make, because if that all happens, Liv is a fraud, and I never want to see her on my screen again. I would like to see Morgan Livington come out and win, because that doesn't make any... Because now, I don't believe any... She's just not credible, which I don't think, Triple H would do. At least, I'll be honest with you, I hope not. Listen, if you don't like Liv Morgan, you can somewhat join the club. I was a big Liv Morgan hater before she won this title. She's done some entertaining stuff. Nothing crazy. Nothing to make me say she's like the best women's wrestler on Raw or anything. Because I'll be honest, Rhea Ripley was doing about the same thing with the world title too. The women's division really just is kind of not necessarily in shambles, but very much full of cracks. And now I open it to you. Who do you want to see, like, if anybody in Judgment Day turns at SummerSlam, who do you want it to be and where? Do you want it to be Finn at Damian, Finn at Rhea, or do you want it to be Dom at Rhea? Because I kind of want them to stay together. But I also really want the drama of Dom betraying Rhea here. Could you imagine? Listen, I have to give credit to Dan for this one, because that psychopath put in my group chat had the nerve to have a good idea of Dom Mysterio doing a frog splash on Rhea Ripley. And I want that more than anything. And I don't know if I'm the only person who thinks that, but that would be the greatest plot. Could you imagine Dom gets in the ring and it's just Liv and Rhea? And then he looks at Liv, smiles. She does like something to knock Rhea down. And then a frog splash from Dom. He would become my number one. He would be my favorite heel forever. That would be nuclear level heat. Because just betraying Rhea in general is going to turn him into the most hated man on the internet. And in the stadiums, of course. But to hit a frog splash on that's some booking stuff that I would do knowing it's never going to happen. But the fact that it was pitched to me kind of as a joke, I want it now more than anything. And it's not going to happen, but I'm going to be at SummerSlam and I'm going to I'm just going to wait for it to happen. The other thing I want to talk about was Gunther Damian, because that is probably my sleeper pick of the night. I think a lot of people have slept on Damian's reign, kind of judged it a little too harshly, or wanted to judge it harshly, but never really got the opportunity, because Damian's been doing a pretty decent job. And my favorite thing about this match is no matter who wins, I get my favorite outcome. I either get my Gunther heel World Heavyweight Championship run, or I just keep getting to see Damian do pretty good stuff. I really enjoyed Damian. I really enjoyed where his route has taken him as his babyface. Kind of naturally also, where he's kind of just came out and people just started cheering for him again. And I really like that. It's to the point that I now believe Damian could win this heavyweight championship back in the future. A year from now, 2 years from now, as long as they keep him around and have him keep putting on decent matches, I'm okay with seeing him win the world title multiple times. And even without Money in the Bank, he could do it from the Rumble. He can do it from just, hey, we need from Elimination Chamber. There we go. I keep forgetting Elimination Chamber is a thing. Elimination Chamber. That is the stupidest way to determine the other thing. Just write a story. How dare you? It just ruins the flow. You go Rumble, Chamber, Mania, and then by the time Mania shows up, 5 of the storylines are all cold because you had to heat up for Chamber. They're changing it. They're changing it. It's still stupid. I don't understand. Elimination Chamber doesn't even make sense. Like, I get where it's like, oh, you put the champion. That's not this video. Move on. But like I said, you either get the Gunther Heavyweight Championship reign, which means he holds it till sometime whenever Drew takes it back, so that way it can be Punk Drew at Mania, or even Punk Drew Seth at Mania. One of those two options. I think that's the best outcome for that. But if not, you also get, like I said, babyface Damian. But I think where they're headed storyline-wise, if Rhea doesn't win, right? Like, let's see, Rhea doesn't hold the title. That Judgment Day breakup, I think, becomes an isolated incident. I think Liv still becomes a catalyst for it, and it's definitely a problem because, you know, like, whatever, Judgment Day, they pick her or whatever. But then I think that at that point, she's dragged into it, and it's less about the women's title and now about the new Judgment Day that has the women's champion versus the women's champion trying to seduce a chicken nugget eating nerd. So I feel like they have two options with that. Either have Damian keep the world title, so the old Judgment Day and new Judgment Day both have a world champion on their side, or they screw Damian out of it, so it's old Judgment Day versus new Judgment Day. And then you have Gunther hold it. And like I said, Gunther can lose that world title before Mania if they want that main event for Punk, Drew, Seth, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, that feud does not need the world title, but the world title needs that feud. So it's like, I completely understand. Regardless, I love that I have no idea what's going on at SummerSlam. In my heart of hearts, I say Gunther takes this. And I'm going to go with Gunther for this because Gunther is just that guy for me. He's my number one guy in the WWE currently. So I just want him to win. But I could also see a future in which the world champion has to kind of hold what's left of Judgment Day together, which would be, you know, Dom and Rhea if that's the route they pick. And honestly, I love all these scenarios. I think regardless, it's just going to be a great SummerSlam, and I can't wait for it. I wanted to just do a quick TLDR, like who predictions for SummerSlam. Like I said, I didn't want to do a full SummerSlam video because that's lame and everybody's doing it. So I got the card here, and match number 1 is Drew and Seth. Or just Drew and Seth. Drew and, I was going to say Drew and McIntyre. Great. Drew and CM Punk with special guest referee Seth Rollins. I think this is the most 50-50 match on the card. All I know is Seth is going to get involved. He's going to do something screwy, and one of them's going to get the pin. I think what you do with this is you give it to Drew, because it plays into his hypocrite character a lot, where it's like, oh, I hate Money in the Bank. And then he wins Money in the Bank and cashes in. So in this case, it's just, oh, I hate interference from other people. And then he gets the win because of interference from other people. I think that's where it's going. Could go completely opposite. I don't know. I can't wait for Sunday. Damian versus Gunther. I already kind of said it. I want Gunther to win, so I'm just going to stick to Gunther. Next. Women's Championship between Bayley and Nia Jax. I haven't been watching SmackDown. I'm going to say Bayley. I'm just happy to see Bayley. I fucking love Bayley. How can you not... Look at this. How can you not love Bayley? How dare you? I could also see Nia winning and going on the monster heel with the title, but Tiffany with the briefcase being her little BFF. It could be either. I honestly would take either. Bayley's run so far has been good for me because, like I said, I like Bayley, but it really hasn't been anything. It's kind of the same with the Cody run. Speaking of Cody, LA Knight versus Logan Paul. Take that U.S. title off that piece of shit. Put it on LA Knight. Yeah. Women's world title. Liv Morgan, you need to win this. If you don't win this, go to AEW or somewhere else because they do not like you. Because storyline-wise, it'd be pretty rough if you lost immediately. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker is a clear-cut Braun Breaker win. I would squash Sami here. I understand if you don't. I think it would be funny. But I love Sami Zayn, so I'm okay with not seeing him squash, but also, that would be funny if he just straight squashed Sami Zayn. But, yeah, whatever. Put the World Heavyweight title on Sami Zayn. And the more than likely main event, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. This match is the most interesting to me, because I think we get the return of Roman Reigns here. Probably. I don't know. It's a 50-50. Like I've been seeing people say, they talk about him a lot on commentary again, so maybe, but also how and when? Interference? Or maybe he stops the bloodline from beating up Cody? Or does Solo win that goddamn title, and that's the match for, what is it, Bash at Berlin? Which, I mean, I guess you could do a title change on what is basically just a B pay-per-view because it's not one of the big four. It would be kind of nice, make the non-big four pay-per-views feel big, but also, do you really want to take this belt off of Cody Rhodes? I mean, he just got that Call of Duty skin. Why would you take this belt off of him? But also, do you do Roman Cody at Bash in Berlin? Or do you save that for Mania? No, because you'd want to do The Rock versus Cody, right? I don't know. All I know is if Roman's music hits while I'm at SummerSlam, I'm going to yell very loud, and I cannot wait for it. So guys, those are my predictions for SummerSlam, and I want in the comments for you to discuss amongst yourselves, whether it just be the card in general, which I'm pretty excited for. Kind of sad I'm not getting my Wyatt 6 match at SummerSlam like people were predicting, but I get to see them in action next week anyway, so it's, cool. The Roman return bugs me because not only is there no real confirmation of him coming back, we also don't know how, and I think that maybe we'll finally make SmackDown interesting. Liv and Rhea has to be the main thing. I would personally make that the main event, but I completely understand if Roman's coming back why you wouldn't. And Damian Gunther, like I said, I win regardless. I like both of these guys, and I am so excited. Also, I'll put this on Twitter. If you see me at SummerSlam, come say hi. Believe me when I say this, I'm more scared of you than you are of me, but also, I'm going to be there with my mom. So, don't be weird. Guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, remember to subscribe button, some more like it. That like button, tell me you enjoyed it, and I will see ya when I freaking see ya.